And I want to show you the pictures right now of those F-15s coming down. One of the F-15s that was shot down has been captured on a mobile phone camera and become one of the most shared images. I'm going to invite onto my coverage now my senior colleague Vishnu Som, who's been looking at these images very, very carefully. Vishnu, good to have you. Troubling images, and let me say right at the outset that combat losses, Vishnu, of aircraft, not uncommon. These things happen in a hot war scenario. But 3 F-15s going down, virtually at the same time, that's big by any stretch.
So it's big by any stretch. The F-15 until today had a 100-0 record in terms of air-to-air combat. Now, this was an air-to-air combat. They could have been engaged by Iranian surface-to-air missiles, as the Iranians are claiming, but that would be a very long stretch. CENTCOM, the United States Central Command, says that they were shot down by the Kuwaitis in a blue-on-blue incident. In other words, fratricide.
Yeah, friendly fire.
Friendly fire, that's very difficult to actually take place because the missile systems which the Kuwaitis operate are the Patriot. They are compatible with the American-built F-15.
Yeah.
They've got interrogation systems over there. They have IFF identity, friend or foe systems on board, multiple other ways to ensure that you avoid just this, shooting down a friendly aircraft.
So I'm going to show you what F-15s look like. These are, of course, very grainy pictures captured on a mobile phone of the F-15 as it was shot down. It came crashing down. But this is what an F-15 otherwise actually looks like. This is an F-15 fighter aircraft. This is a fighter that has had a long tenure within the US Air Force. They're still, by the way, being built, almost half a century later. They're hugely upgraded, excellent fighters with an excellent safety record, as Vishnu said. But these were, as far as the US military is concerned, shot down, Vishnu, by Patriot systems. I've got some images of what the Patriot system looks like when it fires as well. The Patriot systems which have been supplied, Vishnu, to Kuwait. This is an American-built anti-air system that is deployed in Kuwait to take out enemy aircraft, etc. And it's this kind of system that the Pentagon is basically saying shot down those aircraft. Why are you saying it's difficult? I want you to just detail that a little bit better. Because they're both American systems.
Right. So the F-15 has got a transponder on board, as do all military aircraft, number one. Number two, they've got an IFF, or an identity friend or foe system on board. Each aircraft is giving out a particular signature. It's classified and encrypted. Ground-based controllers and air-based controllers on AWACS aircraft on their screens know exactly what it is that is in a particular part of the sky. So you do not fire upon a friendly, and in fact the system doesn't allow you to do it at all. How there was this incredible mess-up which took place, assuming that America is right, and these 3 aircraft were engaged by a Patriot system, that's something they're going to have to figure out and figure out really fast. But the part of the statement made by CENTCOM, Shiv, which I found really interesting, was when they said that at the time of this incident, there were Iranian aircraft, there were Iranian drones and ballistic missiles all involved in action. The Iranian Air Force, evidently, is actually fighting over here. Now, Iran has itself made claims saying that they shot down these aircraft. They didn't specify whether it was air-to-air missiles or surface-to-air missiles. But you and I were looking at the map, and it was, what, 133 kilometers?
We've got that map. I want to actually look at that map here. So this right here is little Kuwait, Vishnu. Tiny bit of space between Kuwait and Iran. What kind of air defense systems does Iran have? They've got the Chinese systems which didn't quite work so well in the
133 kilometers. If you were to position an HQ-9 system anywhere in this region, mind you, it's being intensely watched by the Americans using satellites. You could technically have a solution at a range of approximately 200 plus kilometers. The HQ-9, which is a variant of the Russian S-300 system, considerably inferior to the S-400 we operate, but capable nonetheless, technically has the ability of hitting targets at this range. Now, that said, there is a huge narrative battle. Right? If Iran, in effect, did shoot down 3 American fighters, that would be a first for them.
And
F-15s. Incredible.
Yeah.
Any of these aircraft. These aircraft have jammers. These aircraft have radar warning receivers. They've got other sensors, off-board sensors through AWACS platforms, ground-based platforms, which alert them on threats. They've got a data link between other aircraft. That means all of the aircraft in the formation know what is happening in the airspace around them. For something like this to take place as a result of Iranian action, that would be an incredible piece of action, not least of all because, as I said, these very large surface-to-air missile systems are unwieldy. You can't find them. They're easy to spot. So if you've disguised them, if you had them moving from place to place, you've ambushed these F-15s, then technically it's possible. But what the Americans say, that this was blue on blue, friendly fire, somehow or the other, I sense that might well be the case.
And because analysts are a little incredulous about the friendly fire narrative or the claim that's being made by the Americans.
Unbelievable, Shiv. Just look at this footage.
It's incredible. The aircraft goes into a flat spin, and I'm not surprised whatsoever because the F-15, like you said, has an incredible record.
One of the aircraft. There's footage of two of them.
Yeah, there's
three went down, as we know.
And there are some unverified pictures of the pilots as well.
No, I'm pretty sure those are accurate.
Yeah.
Six pilots and weapon systems operators. The rear in the F-15 Strike Eagle is a weapon systems operator. Men and women, pilots and weapon systems operators. 6 of them in 3 aircraft, 2 in each aircraft. They managed to get out. It is quite something that they ejected safely.
This is that shot where you see the missile actually hit the F-15 and then it goes.
It's quite amazing that they managed to eject safely. There was this one photograph, Shib, of one of the pilots being confronted by a Kuwaiti person on the ground who had a wrench with him. And this guy says, no, hang on. Of course, in a few moments, they realize that, look, he's a friend, he's one of ours. That CENTCOM statement, really important. They've spelled out the details and they said they continue to work very closely with their Kuwaiti partners.
The weird thing about this story is I wonder if we will ever know. The Central Command has been very categorical. They've said friendly fire. There are technical questions to answer. Many. How can American systems shoot down American planes? Of course, it can technically happen, but there are safeguards and guardrail systems, technologically speaking, to prevent this from happening, like you listed out. So it's tantalizing. Yeah. I'm just glad the pilots are okay. They've all been recovered safely, and that's all that counts. At the end of the day, loss of aircraft is not uncommon in battle, and I think there's in many ways, there's a lesson to learn for many countries about, the fact that this is a country that has declared these losses right up front, put that out there, and just gotten on with it.
The CENTCOM statement said Iranian aircraft were in the air. The Iranians are fighting. You will not hear what they are saying. And their ability to communicate this at a time when things have been jammed up is not there. So in as much as we are sort of mentioning what the West is mentioning, because that's the information coming to us, who knows, maybe a lot of what the Iranians are claiming, some of it at least, might well be true.
Very true. Vishnu, appreciate it. Thank you very much for being with me.